Please go subscribe to the Rumble channel for Franchise Sports TV under the name FSTV22. Now, I'm using that Rumble channel for any purposes of me getting kicked off YouTube and also for more of my spicier joints. It's free as well. I have the freedom to say whatever I want to say as well. So go subscribe to FSTV22. That is Franchise Sports TV 22 on Rumble. I've been on the 76ers ass for the whole entire season so far. I have been on the ass ever since this season started, and I ain't letting up. It's kind of weird. First I said I was going to let up on the Lakers ass. Now it's slowly become the 76ers. But the 76ers have become a firestorm of garbage. And I knew when they signed Paul George, nothing was going to come good from it. Absolutely nothing. I could have told everyone that. And I remember, and I clearly remember, it was right before the season started. Could have been after the first game, but I think it was right before the season started. I called this out. I think everybody called this out about Joel Embiid not playing back-to-back games. I think we all called this out and said how ridiculous that sounds. And now it's finally coming to fruition and how crazy and how stupid it is. The 76ers are, let's see here. The last time I checked, I think they only won 1 or 2 games. Let's see here. Drum roll, please. The 76ers are 2-11. They're 2-11 for the season. Everybody wants to talk about the Bucks, but they ain't talking about the 76ers. Can't blame it on injuries with this one. And the Bucks are slowly have climbed the charts. They're not 5-9. They should be 6-8 if they didn't get cheated with the Charlotte Hornets. I don't understand. 2 games in a row, not to be off subject, 2 games in a row when the refs called fouls in the last second. One against Detroit Pistons, which the guy missed both free throws, sent the game into overtime when the Bucks won. And then they did it again in Charlotte. I don't understand what they're trying to do. Sounds like a conspiracy theory to get Giannis out of Milwaukee and go somewhere else. But that sounds like a video for a different day. But the Bucks have slowly climbed themselves out of 5-9 and tied actually in a 4-way tie in the loss column with several teams, including the Brooklyn Nets, Chicago Bulls, Hornets, to be in that play-in realm. It actually ain't that far away from being within everything. 5th place actually, which is funny. But anyways, we need to talk about the Bucks. We talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, 2-11. I don't even know the games they won. I don't remember the games they won. What game did they win so far this season? Did they win games against, I want to say it was the Clippers maybe? Hornets, they beat 107-105. In their last win was the Pacers, 118-114. So those have been their last 2 wins so far. The only 2 wins. Now, it has came out now that things ain't going well within the locker room. Some of the players don't like what Nick Nurse is doing. Actually, some are saying he's not doing anything. He's not getting any smoke, but they want us to continue to give smoke to Doc Rivers, which I have on this channel. But why not Nick Nurse? Why is not Nick Nurse getting any smoke? Some people have their theories why Nick Nurse is not getting any smoke, but we ain't going to talk about that right here. They don't have that serious conversation yet. And then it all go back to Joel and Embiid. It all go back to Joel and Embiid. And I said this is always going to go back to Joel and Embiid. So I guess Tyrese Maxey ain't having this whole thing with Embiid and tardiness and everything else. So let's read into this. Some of you guys may have already know this already. I'm talking to people who don't know about this, and I'm talking to people who, the 76ers fans that came to my channel, don't talk about our team, you know the team. Well, I'm talking about your team. So, according to Shams Charania, who's now slowly become a star at ESPN, amid a 2-11 start season, the 76ers are in the last place in the Eastern Conference with a star trio of Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey yet to play a game together, which is true. The 76ers have held a team meeting following Monday's night loss 106-89 to the Miami Heat. The loss was the team's fourth in a row, sparking veteran guard Kyle Lowry to call for the meeting, a much-needed heart-to-heart and call to action and urgency, sources tell ESPN. Players and coaches held each other accountable and took fault in the start of the season. Maxey, this thing will stop playing around with me, just go down. Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities. Why are you not on time? Why are you not on time? Why are you always late, Joel Embiid? Why are you always late, Joel Embiid? Huh? Calling out the 22-23 league MVP about being late for everything. Late for everything, huh? And how it impacts the locker room for other players to coaching staff, sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Maxey and Embiid have a close friendship and history, holding each other accountable according to those around the team. Tyrese loves big fella, but this is the elephant in the room. A person involved in the meeting told ESPN. Players told 76ers coach Nick Nurse they wanted to be coached harder. Coaches in turn said they wanted players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. Embiid accepted the messages sent in the meeting, sources said, but he stated that he is sometimes confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute on the court. Well, maybe if you play every game, you would know, you big doofus. Embiid, who was listed as doubtful most on Monday due to illness, not seen by most teammates and coaches throughout the day before appearing for warm-ups and playing in the game. Maxey is highly regarded as a young leader by many in the organization, and those around the team were not surprised that he spoke up on Monday. He has been out since November 7th with a strained right hamstring, but sources say he's expected to return this week, earlier Wednesday in Memphis or Friday at home against the Brooklyn Nets. We all know about Paul George, a 9-time All-Star, signing a 4-year, $212 million deal to join Embiid and Maxey. Big waste of time. Maxey, who hours later signed his own deal of 5 years and $204 million. After years of trying and ultimately failing to find the right players to surround Embiid, from Jimmy Butler to Ben Simmons to James Harden, which never worked. Actually, Jimmy Butler could have worked, but they choose old boy, fake ass J. Cole, who is now playing in Detroit Pistons right now. It ain't going well. They trying to be nice about it, but some of this stuff ain't going well. It's just not going well. And I put the blame on Joel Embiid himself. This has been a waste of time. I know there's been people talking about him needing to be traded. Old boy was on FS1. Was it Ron Parker? And his new LeBron extremist guy, I can't even think of his name right now. They both agreed that Embiid probably need to be moved away from this team because it just is not working. And they're right. You had James Harden, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler could have worked out. Ben Simmons, we all know what happened there. James Harden, I don't think he overrated. But they put all these players next to him, Joel Embiid. It just hasn't worked at all. What is it going to take? Who knows? And people want to get mad at me for calling this out. Talk about, you're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater. You're a hater. Well, proof is in the pudding. You got a guy who doesn't want to play back-to-backs. He had announced it before even announcing that he even had such an injury. You had the distraction of the whole reporter, getting into the reporter, 3 games suspended. Like I said, on and off on the court. Now there's reports of him coming in late, not showing up all the time. This is just a recipe for disaster. Paul George can't stay healthy. Your your main, I call him the main set piece now, probably is Tyrese Maxey. He's hurt. According to the article, he's supposed to be back. And then Nick Nurse ain't coaching. Joe Embiid don't know what's going on. This team's a mess, man. This team's an utter crap show. They ain't got nobody else but to blame for themselves. They haven't been out of the conference semifinals since the 2001 season when they had AI on his streak. The last time they played in the conference finals was when they played the Bucks in the conference finals in 2001. Ever since then, nothing since. Nothing to show for it. Embiid is getting all this treatment, acting like a diva, and I ain't been to a finals yet. Yeah, you got your... Here, nigga, take your MVP award. You got that. But that doesn't mean that you should just be tardy, coming in late, deciding you're not going to play back-to-backs and all this other garbage that's going on. You haven't done nothing. You have not done a single thing. And that's why I never will put him in a top 10 center all time. And when I made that video back in the summertime, I put him barely in the top 20. And this shows right here. This man has no heart, no dedication to the game. That's why I put the old centers from the past above him. They did. They cherished the game. They honored the game. He does not. He takes the game for granted. Like most of these players take the game for granted. But anyways, I expect casual fans not to understand what I'm saying, because if they did, they wouldn't be complaining about me talking about these players or anybody else who talks about these players. Still getting any feelings, understand what the hell we're saying. But then again, reading comprehension and listening comprehension is at an all-time low these days.